Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Today, it is anniversary day for Fate Grand Order on the NA server, and it will soon be the anniversary as well, 10th anniversary on the JP server. All of which is to say, FGO's been around for a long-ass time. So, I don't know. I've kind of was playing with the idea of doing a little bit of a video to kind of talk about 5 reasons to play FGO and 5 reasons not to. I was kind of inspired to make this because of weirdly enough, a Yu-Gi-Oh video that I was watching about, like, the good parts of Yu-Gi-Oh and the bad parts. But rather than do, like, 2 very long streams for this, I just decided to roll these into one concept. And this is going to be mostly just train of thought, or stream of consciousness, however you want to say it. Just going to be kind of like thinking about it. I've already put the 5 reasons for each down, and it's going to go good and then bad, good, bad, and so on. So, we're just going to kind of talk about it. I kind of just want to talk about what is good about FGO and what's bad. 5 reasons why, if you're thinking about, hey, should I play the game? It's 10 years old, is it still worth playing? Maybe check it out. Or, it's old, here's 5 reasons why maybe you won't like the game. And, you know, gauge it off of this. So, I don't know how long this is going to take. Could take 15 minutes, could take an hour. We'll have to see. Those of you on YouTube already know, so say hi at the end. For now, let's take a look. So, 5 reasons to play. Chat, if you want to play along, you can try and guess what I'm going to say. Let's start with the 5 reasons why, or one of the 5 reasons why. What is the best part of FGO? The single thing that FGO has over what I would argue just about every other gacha. Characters, story, gambling. Incredible free-to-play friendly. It makes you not a bitch about gacha in other games. Waifu husbando. Well, my number 1 reason as to why you should play this game is the story. Easily. It's easily the story. It has to be the story. The story of FGO is incredible. Out of every gacha game I've played, it is the one that has hooked me in the most. It's the one that has stuck with me the most. And I would just say it's maybe the best one. It's maybe the most coherently best one. Now, FGO as a game is kind of a glorified visual novel, which you can say the same about pretty much every gacha to a degree, right? Like, it's all just glorified visual novels with, like, some gameplay. But FGO has the bonus background of being, like, you know, actually made by people who made visual novels. And so they can pace that stuff a lot better. And I'll be honest with you, like, the start of the story is a little bit rough. That's not even true. The start of the story is great. The beginning is fantastic. And then you hit Orleans and Septum. And Orleans and Septum are rough to sit through, and you definitely feel the age of it, right? But I love Okeanos. Okeanos is fantastic. And then there's London, which is also kind of a lull, but that one's entirely for setup. And then after that, it's great. So people like to usually say that the first, like the beginning of it is just all kind of bad. You can skip it. You don't need it. I wouldn't say that. I mean, it's important to have the concepts that are built upon in Orleans and Septum to a degree. Septum, I'd say, is definitely the weakest chapter, but like, not Shinjuku, Jesus Christ, that's way later. What is it? Why is my brain not working? Fuyuki, that's what it's called. Fuyuki is one of the best starts for a gacha, because it puts you right in, being like, alright, here's the stakes, here's who you are, here's everything you need to know, and also if you don't know Fate, now you kind of understand what Fate's about. Boom, easy, done. The next 2 chapters are kind of like, okay, but they're pretty quick, so you don't have to worry about them. Pretty good. But then even like after that, like, America is really fun. Camelot is really, really good. Babylon is phenomenal. The conclusion's great. All of the Epic of Remnant, except for one, is like an incredibly well-written story. And then pretty much every single one of the Lost Belts is a hit. I dislike one of them a decent amount, but that's just me. That's like all my opinion, man. The story does amazing jobs with the characters that it has. For a game that has a cast of 400 characters, it's amazing how well they do manage to flesh them out with how little amount of time that there is. That's not to say that they're like all fantastically written or anything like that, but like you get it. You get the characters pretty easily, and what makes them tick really easily. Like it's kind of impressive that they have as many characters as they do, and you can still point out and be like, okay, this character is unique because they do this, this, and this, as opposed to this. You know what I mean? Eric Bloodaxe's character is that he has a bloody axe. I'll even argue that you on that. Eric is actually, for being a character that never shows up, he's still an interesting enough character. Knowing that he is a guy who is perfectly capable of speech, but is so afraid that his wife will curse him or other people around him if he talks, and so he just goes da 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 all the time, is a really fun character trait. That's really fun. And they also, even though he shows up so infrequently, every time he does, he's really fun to watch on screen, because it's just like he's always in this balancing act of like, how far can I go before my wife's gonna fucking kill me? It's fun. I mean, yeah, that is another thing, is like each story chapter is... I'm not going to say they're all self-contained, because what happens in each chapter does have an impact on the other chapters to a degree. But like, I'll be honest with you, one of the complaints, I don't even know if I'd say it's a complaint, because technically it's a compliment, is Lost Belt 6 is so... It's divisive to a degree according to a vocal minority, but the vast majority of people think it's fucking peak because it is. And even people who dislike FGO are like, yo, Lost Belt 6 is kind of heat, but I don't want to have to sit through all of this extra shit to understand what's going on in Lost Belt 6. I'm gonna tell you right now, you can pick up Lost Belt 6 with a basic understanding of FGO and read through the entirety of it and be like, okay, got it. You can pick up pretty much just about any story in FGO and kind of just like go through it and be like, I get it. You don't really need... If you understand how Fate works, you will understand how FGO, like an FGO story chapter will work. Like, you're going to lose out on some of the investment in some of the characters, and you won't get as much out of it, but you'll still get like the story. It's still a good story regardless. So, you know. It's good. It's fantastic. It's the best thing about the game is sitting down and being able to read a really well-crafted story every couple of months. And even the events, they don't skip on the events either. Like, they make incredibly memorable things happen in the events all the time that are even more memorable than some of the stuff that happens in the main story, like the main story stuff. Like, okay, I'm just gonna say one word, and I want to see how my chat reacts. Steggy. How do y'all feel about Steggy? Friend, baby, why must you do this to me? Rat Jam. Exactly. It's so cute, I wish to squish him. It's technically a fan service little moe thing, but because of how well they handled that, it's just like, oh, my fucking heart. It's so incredibly well done. I love it to death. So yeah, I would say story, hands down, if you want a game that has a really good story, just FGO, go for it. It's fantastic. Gameplay can come second. FGO's story is the best in the gacha sphere. And I'll be honest with you, I'm trying to think of like all the gacha whose stories I've like gone through a decent amount, and that would be Nikke, Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Arknights, Azure Lane, and technically Uma Musume now, but like not really. And of those, I'm trying to think if there's any others that I've progressed decently far into the story, and I can't think of them off the top of my head, so we're just gonna work with those. Of those, FGO clears all of them. The closest one after that is Nikkei. But I didn't make it that far. I made it decently far into the Arknight story, and it just wasn't for me personally. But I can definitely see Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Yeah, the story of that's fucking peak, dude. But yeah, no, story. Story is fantastic. I love it to death. Limbus and Ruina. I've never played Library of Ruina, and I didn't get very far into Limbus because I didn't like it. My opinions on Limbus Company begin and end with the opening chapter and how the gameplay was playing and the character designs from the opening. And I gotta be honest with you, it just didn't fit. I just didn't like it. It just didn't fit with me. Which, if you like Limbus, I'm happy for you. Enjoy yourself. I definitely have a quote regarding my opinion of people who play Limbus, but, you know, that's fine. You would all agree with it, so I'm not going to quote it here, but you know. They get better with the designs. I frankly don't care, you know? The most interesting character in Limbus to me was Don Quixote, and I'm glad that they gave her some more time in the sun. She's great. I love her. Anyway, that's a good. Let's move on to the bad. Chat, what do you think is the most bad part about FGO? The gacha. Gamba. The gacha. Gacha. Gameplay. The gacha. Septum. Gambling. Gamba. Well, you guys are half right. I think that the worst part of FGO is it's fucking expensive. It's not just that it's a gacha. It's that it's an expensive gacha. I don't care that it's a gacha game. I don't mind paying money in a gacha game. I'm going to make a direct comparison to the other gacha game that I do play the most frequently, which is Nikkei. The only thing I can ever think I've spent money on Nikkei for is to roll on the costume banners. But they give you so much free stuff in Nikkei, and they're so generous with their gacha that you don't need to spend money. In FGO, if you want a 5-star character, you've got to pay money. Like, eventually you're gonna have to start paying money, which is something that I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. It's just the facts in the case. It's overly expensive in comparison to other gachas with horrible rate ups. What is the rate up for a 5-star? Isn't it like 0.2% or some shit like that? It's you're not guaranteed 4 stars, and you're absolutely not guaranteed a 5-star. There is no way to guarantee that you get a 4-star that's on rate up. There is a way to guarantee that you get a 5-star on rate up, and it costs $450 US as of the recording of this video. 0.8, but point stands right. Point stands. It's really low. It's less than 8% to get it, which is, you know, it's why gambling on it is kind of addicting in a way, because it's just like I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna hit it. I know the odds are low, but I'm gonna hit it. But it's just like it's so expensive. Again, $450 US approximately to hit pity. That's if you're incredibly unlucky and do not get the one on rate up. And that is a system that they added like relatively recently. Like it's not that old of a system in comparison. There used to not be a pity system at all. It used to be that you could theoretically roll forever and ever and ever and just not get the character because of how low the rate up is. FGO is way too expensive for what it is. Like, I love the game, I adore the game, but it is pricey. Like, realistically, you can play this game free to play. And we'll get into more of that later. But it is possible to play this game free to play. But it's like... it's just, you know... how I feel when I reach pity. Yeah, it's not a good feeling. You feel soulless. Also, roles used to be more expensive. They did. They've been making... They have been slowly but surely making it more... like, player-friendly. But the welfare will save you. The issue with that, though, is the thing that they have been doing, which is where they start locking welfares behind very, very far in the future, like, story chapters. And the idea of a welfare is that it's supposed to be able to help you get through the game from an early level, because it's a free 4-star that's NP5. And a lot of the welfares are really strong. And so locking it behind, like, I don't know, Lost Belt 3 is fucked. Or Ordeal Call 2 is fucked. But yeah, this game is incredibly expensive. So a lot of people I've seen online, the way how they tend to play gacha games, if they're not like in the sphere of gacha game players, is they will play the game up until the point where the game becomes unplayable if you don't pay money. Now, theoretically, FGO never hits that mark. You can make it through all of FGO with low rarity characters and 4 stars. You don't need 5 stars, but it makes the game so much easier. And plus, a lot of the powerhouses come in the form of a 5-star in some variety. Like, all the best farming units to like make that something that's able to be done are... I mean, it's all fine. It's fucking Koyanskaya, fucking Castoria, Scotty, and you need 2 of them to make it work, but you can't use 2 of your own. You have to have a friend as well. So yeah, I mean, I would say that is definitely the worst part of FGO, is that it's way too expensive. This is an expensive game to play if you want to like get the most out of it easily. That's the other thing. FOMO. FOMO is a thing in this game, where some characters just don't show back up for a long time. Daikokuten, Fujino, and Draco are good examples of characters that will just sometimes just go away and then they just don't come back. Look at an odd rate up here and there, but not that often. And so it's like, you better play it now. Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I believe that there are free-to-play players who get good stuff on the account. I'm saying right now that is not that is an exception, not the rule. Dino Wife, and that's another good example. But yeah, game's expensive, and it really is unfortunate that it is as expensive as it is. But let's go back to positives. What is the second best thing about FGO, chat? Which, by the way, I don't think I actually ordered this in my feelings of how they are, except for the first and the second one. We'll have to see. Which I agree. Art. Good guess. Character designs. Okay. Good Rule 34. True. You can make your favorites work. True. Battle. True. The answer is... it's art. FGO easily has the best art of any gacha game, primarily because they have so many artists who work in FGO. There's no one set art style for FGO, which for most gachas, they all go for a style that is relatively similar. Like, Arknights, a lot of the Arknights characters have the same style. And I know they use different artists a lot. So it's not to say that it all looks the same, because it doesn't. Arknights has fantastic art as well. But FGO is one of the very few gacha where you can have a character like Ivan, a character like Nidocris, And a character like Benny Enma exists in the same game. As well as, you know, characters like Malnobu, Herc, and Izo. All of them have distinct, unique styles that are very, you know, their own. It's very different, and they all get kind of homogenized into the sprite art, but the actual key art that they have for the characters themselves is all fantastic. I'm trying to think to myself, when I was making this also, I was trying to think to myself, is there any one character who has art that is just bad? It's just completely and utterly unappealing. And some people will say Raida, but that's just fucking... That's just cap. You're just wrong. Raida makes some of the best designs in FGO. Contrast Paco in FGO and Hoyo. Well, yeah. Do we want to talk about that? That's a whole other thing. Like, what a lot of gacha games will do is they will hire a bunch of artists and then kind of like, please design this character, and then they give the character design to the actual main artist, and they take that character and then reduce them. So I don't remember the character's name in Genshin. It's a fox boy whose color scheme is like green and yellow, drawn by Paco, who's the artist of Nobunaga over here, right? I don't remember what his name is. I couldn't tell you for the life of me. Goro? Not Goro. Fox, my guy. I don't... Yeah, it's... I don't know. He's got, like, green fur. Tignari? Probably Tignari. Let me double check that. If you look at the art that Paco initially drew of that character, and then the model that was given to that you get to play as, it's night and day in terms of quality. Yep, that's the one. Which, of course, you're going to need to reduce some aspects of art when you convert them from one thing to another, right? Like, I'm not expecting them to, like, make it a one-to-one translation. But the thing is, though, is that Paco's art, truly, and I mean this, Paco could draw art that belongs in a museum. If there was ever an exhibition of Paco art, and you were to just, like, be like, come and see the Paco art exhibit, it would be insane. I would go to that shit in a heartbeat. I want to see everything that dude has ever drawn. But same for, like, Shima Udon, who does, like, the Nidochris art, as well as Billy and Phantom as well. Phantom's a fucking, what is he, 1-star? Is he a 1-star or a 2-star? Doesn't matter. Low rarity bronze character who is weak as fuck. Most people do not like him because he's just kind of like whatever. Has some absolutely insanely good art. It's just, it goes so incredibly hard. FGO doesn't miss when it comes to art. It's just, it's all good. It's literally all good. And I do get reminded, I mean, not to take like a subtle jab at fucking Genshin fans. Is it Genshin or Hoyo? It doesn't matter. You know who you are if you brought this up. When there are people who were shitting on the art of FGO, and the characters that they were pointing out were Herc and Scheherazade, and I'm trying to think of who else it was. I think they also pointed out Shiba, and I'm like, okay, I see why you actually dislike these characters. I think we understand where your hatred actually lies, you fucking asshole. It's like, you know, you can point at a couple of characters to be like, this art design is not for you, is not for me. Like, it's the thing. People can say they don't like... Raiko's a good example. Raiko's a very, very divisive character design. And it's fair. I totally understand why people wouldn't like Raiko, because her proportions are monstrous. Her tits are too big, her neck is too long, her ass makes no sense, her legs make no sense, her arms make no sense from a practical standpoint, and yet, I think her art is fantastic. It all works really well together within itself. But I understand why people don't like that. Here's the cool thing about FGO. Because it allows every artist to have their like art style be the thing that shows up on the screen constantly, you are bound to find a ton of art that you love. Absolutely a ton of art that you love. Scheherazade I can understand because very feisty, but linked together with the others was really telling. The thing with Scheherazade, though, is, yeah, okay, they made her thick as a bowl of fucking oatmeal. I'm not gonna sit here and act like they didn't, but she's wearing culturally appropriate, like what would have been worn at the time. It's historically accurate to a degree. There's definitely like, you know, some creative liberties being taken with that. I'm not gonna act like there isn't, but it's not like, I don't know, it's not like they just drew her naked for the sake of drawing her naked. Gotta love me some Pochi Sensei art. She doesn't have a servant, and she needs to have one. Pochi Sensei, I will marry you. Please let me marry you. But yeah. The point being, the art is fantastic. If you don't like the art that you've seen here, just look through the Fate catalog. Just look through it. It's so... There's so much there that's good. Alright. Next up, chat, what is my second bad point? Can you guess? What could it possibly be? The second thing I dislike about FGO. Having played this game for... God, how long has it been? 7 years. 7 years I've played FGO. UI, the community. Survey says... outdated. I don't know whose account this is. This was the first one that came up on Google. They've not cleared fucking America. Sorry, they've not cleared London. Yeah, let's just... The UI falls into this pretty well. FGO's old. It's a 10-year-old game. And it unfortunately feels like a 10-year-old game. There's been various changes made... Sorry, there's been very few changes made to the game as a whole to make it more modernized. There's a bunch of things that are not in the game that most people would like say needs to be in the game. For one, auto battle. Auto battle is something that people have been demanding, and at the last I checked, which mind you was a long time ago, they've been very adamant that they don't want to do that. They don't want there to be an auto battle function. I think that what they should do is something similar to what Star Rail does, which is where you clear it once with a team comp, and then after that you can just record that team comp and then have that same like run through go again, and then you can just run that for as many apples as you have. People also hate the UI. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't mind the Fate's UI. I think it's fine. It's not the best I've ever seen, but I also don't think it's, like, awful. Star Rail has that feature. Last time, if I remember correctly, that's how you, like, would farm in Star Rails. It would just auto-battle for you after you've cleared it. Reverse 1999 does that. Or takes your battle and just runs it back. It's a perfect way to add an auto battle function without having it just be, I'm going to input this amount of apples and I just want to get the rewards from this. No, I think that it should still run. I actively despise the auto battle in games. I mean, it's a matter of opinion. I think that it would not be a bad decision to make it an option for people. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to. But if you want to use it, you can. But yeah, the UI is old, the code is old, like, everything about FGO feels like it's a 10-year-old gacha game. Which, the only other game that is this old that I've played is Puzzle and Dragon, which also feels like it's a 10-year-old gacha game, but it's actually older. But also, Puzzle and Dragon isn't run by, like, Tight Moon, who is a huge company like that. And there's no, like, overarching, like, story, and, well, there is, but there is. I'm not gonna get into the Puzzle and Dragon fucking discourse. It's just, you can feel the age of this game. Which isn't to say that it's inaccessible or impossible to play, but, like, there's definitely aspects of this game that you're, like... If you're coming from a game like Nikke, or Star Rail, or Limbus company, you're just like, why are these features not in here? Or like, why is this not in here? It's because the game doesn't want to update. It doesn't want to add a lot of features. It likes the way that things are, and it doesn't want to change that. Now, the thing with that is, though, it's hard to tell how much of that is an intentional choice and how much of that is that they literally can't do it without breaking the fucking game. They've tried to add in other things into this game before, and it causes the entire system to fuck up. Now, the obvious solution to that is that they would have to build the game from the ground up again, or take some of the concepts they have and redo it, which I think a lot of people are expecting something like that in the future, if they want the game to survive, because it's hard to say. Like, they need to modernize Fate. They really need to modernize FGO if they want it to continue to be competitive. Because, I don't know, FGO doesn't really have the same, like, call that it did before. Holy shit! That is a enormous mist raid. Holy shit. Hi, chat. Hi, everyone. How's it going?
Yay!
Justification, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. What is that? The Monadnock, thank you for the follow.
Yay!
What the hell? Very spicy Spidey, thank you for the follow. How's it going? Howdy, fellas. Hopefully everybody is doing well. Will Helms, thank you for the follow.
Yay!
Sharky Katana, thank you for the follow. Lurie Dayston, thank you for the follow. General Dr. Dad, thank you for the follow. How's it going? It is the entire Gao gang come to congregate and listen to my bad opinions.
Yay!
Hopefully stream was well. The Purple Idiot, thank you for the follow. Hopefully you had good luck with Ash if you rolled for her.
Yay!
How's it going, fellas? Howdy, howdy. I lost 100k Gamba, sadly. I'm so sorry. I did a short stream today after I got back from a short vacation for Annie Gotcha. Mostly, and it went great, luckily. Hey, hell yeah, you love to see it. Luck sack today? You love to see it.
Yay!
Dark P Sick Night, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Hope that you enjoy your stay. Master of Caster sometimes is a title worth having. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Okay, for those of you who are here, I cursed myself. I bought a cursed object. I went to an arcade. I got a Stolfo. I got out of a claw machine and a Stolfo saber figure, and then proceeded to get 3 French sabers and a Stolfo out of the gacha before I got Ash. And I'm very upset about it. Hope the fig was nice. At least it is. It's pretty good. It's surprisingly good quality for getting it out of like a gacha machine, just functionally. Well, thank you so much for the raid. I do appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. Topic right now. 5 reasons why you should play FGO, and 5 reasons why you shouldn't. And, yeah, reason number 2 as to why not. The game's old. The game is old, and it feels old, and they need to modernize this game. Like, there's so much that they need to do to make this game more modernized. And I'll say that it's old. Yeah, I mean, 10 years old, crazy. Had to go to Pity for Tonalico and had 3-star spooks. I'm so sorry. The FGO, I don't know. I don't really know what I want them to change to make it feel more modern, other than things like, I don't know. Auto battle would be nice. I know people don't like the UI. I don't mind the UI personally. A better pity system would be nice. 10 years is like 50 in internet years. Don't say that. I will start turning into dust. But yeah. Yeah, they just need to they need to make the game. They need to like do something more with the game. Statistically, getting a 3 SSR in pity is not bad. No, not at all. Change the pity system to 500 rolls. What modernized would look like? Okay, I'll say this. I just had to edit that gotcha because it's a day late as is. Hope you have a good sesh with this. Better include the raid. And if it ends up on YouTube, it'll be there. It will be there. Don't you worry. I'm not editing this. All right. Have fun in the editing minds. I appreciate the raid, homie. Have a fantastic rest of your evening. Datix, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Hope you enjoy your stay. Ow.
Yay!
And Tommy2175, thank you for the follow as well. Hope that you enjoy your stay. I understand if you cut it out, but yeah, I'll check it on YouTube when it's out. Interesting topic. All right. Much appreciated, homie. All right, so that is our number 2 for bad. So what's our number 3 good? What's the other good one? So here, let me because now there's additional people here. Here's what we have so far. The best part about FGO, easily, is the story. Story in FGO is unmatched from any other gacha. No other gacha does story better. Just, it's so good. Bad. It's fucking expensive. This game costs too much money for having such horrible rates. Like, why?
Yay!
Edie0316, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Hope that you enjoy your stay. The amount of money that you have to spend to get if you're a collector to get all of the shit, it's so much. The FGO rent is too damn high. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculously expensive for a game about getting anime PNGs. Especially in the modern scene where games like Nikkei, you don't have to spend a goddamn dime and you can have a fucking S tier, you can have an S tier setup. You don't need to spend money. Second good, art. Art's fantastic. It doesn't miss. Everything about FGO's art is amazing. They let every artist cook the most ridiculous shit you've ever seen in the best way possible. And you can get designs like Ivan right next to Benny's, and it can be jarring at times, but you know what? Both of them are peak character design. It's so good. And Nito Walter, Nito Walter has my favorite art. It's so unbelievably good. Get Ashley like a second to just Gamba? Hell yeah, brother. All these are good, and then number 2 bad is that it's outdated. So what is number 3 good? What do we think that's going to be? Don't look at Samurai Buki. I think her art is fantastic. I don't mind that she has a weird ass. Then again, I'm also a firm supporter of... Did you have a seizure while reading that message? Probably. Stars don't matter?
Yay!
I'm Rosette, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Hope you enjoy your stay. Gameplay. This one might be controversial for some people. I, for one, actually really enjoyed the gameplay of FGO. I think that, in terms of gameplay, I think it's really fun. I think it's very interesting. I like that there's so much that you can do with -2. Fuck off. I like that there's so much that you can do with the gameplay. You can have it be as simple as you want by 3-turning things with people like Castoria or Scotty or Koya and Sky and Oberon. You can do that. Me personally, I enjoy the gameplay loop. I like characters that are off meta that you can use that are just really fun. It's why a character like Himiko is so much fun to use. Tomachin FJ, oh my god, FGJP, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Hope that you enjoy your stay. Grail fronts are fantastic, yeah. I'd agree with that. I like it when they shake up how the gameplay is done. It's really fun. Like characters like Bishone. I know people were kind of iffy on Bishone, but I really, really love how she plays. 'Cause it's so I think it's fun to like see how many stacks you can get on a person that hit him super hard. That's why I like the Pope. It's why Johanna is so much fun to use, because she plays in such a different way to everybody else, and a lot of the characters are kind of like fall into that category as well. Like, people knock on the gameplay because it can be repetitive to a degree, you know what I mean? Because there is so much in this game that is repetitive, but like, I like turn-based combat. It reminds me of my childhood, because all the games I played back in the day were fucking JRPGs that were turn-based, and I still just think it's fun having the strategy like that. I like that when like you get to watch a 10% crit land and destroy somebody because your Eric Bloodaxe is built like a goddamn fiend. I like being able to build a character like Enkidu to just like murder like gods, because why not? Being able to do stuff like that is so much fun. Is there going to be a video of the room review? Yes, there will be. Qinliang Yu is really fun to use too. I love Qinliang Yu. Like, I like that they do so much with the gameplay. Now, of course, there's always going to be like the meta. I'm not going to deny that like there's always an optimal way to do things in this game. But just because it's optimal does not mean that it's what you have to do. There's lots of ways to play FGO, and it's really fun to be able to like make funny, goofy comps work. I mean, it's why I really like Hanako Green stuff. Like, the fact that that dude can put together a team of ragtag dickheads to go and kill God is so much fun to watch. It's just like, god damn, he really thought about all of that, huh? I'm currently playing SMT Metaphor. Hell yeah, I want to play, what is it called? No, not Refantasia. Expedition 33, that's the one I'm trying to think of. Isn't there someone who uses Phantom to win tough fights? I'm sure that there is. My favorite one is the guy who uses the level 3 Hijikata to kill bosses. It's just like, who thought of that? Why did you think that this would work, and why does it work? Like, stuff like that is what makes FGO really fun, because if you try to pull shit like that in other gacha games, it's gonna kick you to the curb and say, fuck off. Yeah, it works because of how Hijikata's skills work, which is where how his NP works, which is where if his NP is low, he does more damage, and because if he's level 3, his NP is already naturally really low, he just does 1 billion damage. 1 Hijikatillion damage, if you will. I'm the Ivory guy. I could not join the stream that time. I have a few comments about that video, but if you want, I'll comment on that video when it comes on YouTube. Yeah, that's a good idea. Your room was fucking awesome. that room was awesome. I appreciate that there are fully free-to-play options for team building. Exactly. It's something that FGO does. You mean HP? That's definitely what I mean, but I probably said something wrong because I'm talking fast. But yeah, it's great. I like that there's so much ease of access. It's very, very easy. I said NP? Okay, yeah, that's because I'm stupid. I meant if he has low HP, he does more damage. It's very easy to get lost in the like the meta mindset, because a lot of what you end up doing in FGO is just like grinding and farming. But like, I don't know, like the recent tower event that was on NA, like I like those events where you have to like kind of think about like, okay, how do I want to set up this team without making all of my like dudes go crazy? It's great. I have a lot of fun with it. Also, yeah, somebody mentioned it earlier, but Grail Fronts, if they want to make Grail Fronts something that rotates out monthly, oh my god, that would be so much fun. Also, again, on JP right now, what they're doing with, like, the Grand Trials, where you have to fight the same class, but with your one overpowered dude and try and beat their ass with them, I think that's cool. And then they make a customized boss fight for it, like Musashi here. It's just like, god damn. Yeah, the Olga Quest too, those are so much fun. They keep coming up with new ways to expand on the idea that they've been, like, the gameplay loop that they've created. And I really appreciate that they keep doing that. It makes it really fun. Other games have to supplement that by adding mini-games that are unrelated to the current gameplay. Like, I love Nikke. I love Nikkei's gameplay. It's hard to innovate that kind of gameplay unless you're going to do like a point and shoot thing, more of a point and shoot type thing. So what they do to innovate with that, what they do to instead, is that they have a lot of mini games that are really fun. FGO takes that concept and is like, nope, it's all going to work in the same area, and we're going to make that work, and it's going to be really fun. But yeah, I like the gameplay. I really do enjoy the gameplay of the game. It's also therapeutic in a way, just to be able to like, I know how to do this. I'm just gonna slowly pilot it while I do this, and like play a game of like Hearthstone Battlegrounds in the background to get the farming done. It's just like, all right, cool. And also, you can just like put the game away midway through a fight and be like, okay, I need to go do something else, and then come back to it. Like, all right, here we go. Just, I don't know. I like it. So on that, what's the next bad? What's the next bad thing about FGO? Our number 3 bad thing. Coin system. The gacha is bad, but it's not the worst if you were in Dragon City or other games from the developer. Now that is pay to play. Pay to play is a whole other like thing. Like, I'm glad FGO has, options. Please make the farming easier. I need 72 bells for each Ash skill. Yeah. Alright. My number 3 bad kind of goes into the... kind of like to go into the gameplay aspect a bit more, is that it's grindy. Like, because FGO only has the one way to play, if you do not like that way to play, you are going to hate FGO. Like, it doesn't matter how good the story of Fate Grand Order is. If you're unwilling to go and read it outside of the game, then you are going to have to grind. You're going to have to do that. There are ways to auto-grind. There are ways to auto-grind. But it doesn't change the fact that a lot of the game is the grind. Bad 3 cast story. I mean, there is a double cast story on this with a Spishtar for a reason. Yeah, it's just a lot of what you end up doing in FGO in terms of like the gameplay is hit cast story as 3 skills and then hit the NP on your DPS 3 turns. And it's unfortunate. Unfortunately, there's not really a way to get around that. Anti-hub G, you don't... Oh. At least there isn't artifacts with RNG status. Okay. Yes and no. Here's the thing. Anybody who's ever... Okay, let me paint a picture for you. Let me paint a picture for you, fellas. You just got a new servant. You've been really looking forward to this character because you knew they were coming out, and you're going to go and level them up for the first time, and you're like, oh boy, I can't wait to do this. And then you notice something. They require 24 octuplet crystals, and you have 6. And you're like, oh, I'll just go farm for that at the place in Agartha. And so you go to the Agartha place. It costs, I think, is it 12 or 24, something like that, AP, which is a lot. And then you go and you run that, and you don't get the drop. And then you run that, you don't get the drop. And then you run that, and you don't get the drop. And you do that 100 times, and you get 8. Still not enough to level up your character. And you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, more. Yeah, here's one. One for a character that just dropped. Bells. If you are wanting to get the most out of the most recent anniversary character, Ash the Rain Witch, you need to have... I'm bad at math. What is 72 times 3? I can't do math. I simply am incapable of doing it. 216. You need 216 bells. Now, when you go to the best place to grind bells, you are not guaranteed to get it. So that means if you are at 0, you need to grind over 216 times on that place to maybe get enough. It's not just that, Quan, it's the fact that you can't farm it until you get so late in the game. That too, if you are just starting out FGO and you just got Ash the Rain Witch, shove it up your ugly ass. Because your ass is going to have to wait for events to get 40 out of a shop and hope that there's a goddamn thing that you can farm with. That shit sucks ass. It's horrible. Now, over time, they have, yes, Pure Prisms is what they did to alleviate that. The problem with Pure Prisms, though, is that that's a finite resource. Because I don't think it's on NA yet. You can buy 100 of any item that you want for a Pure Prism, ranging from 1 Pure Prism for it to 3, right? And bells or a bronze mat, you can get 100 of those out of the shop, and then you can't get any more until a year and a half from now when they add the refresh tickets. It's completely finite. It does not fix the problem. It's nice. It's a nice thing to have, and it's a nice way to supplement if you are missing a certain amount of mats, right? But if you use all of them, then you're fucked. So you have to really think about, do I want to spend these finite resources that you only get from clearing the story and leveling characters, and maybe some other thing on occasion? That's the only way to get them. And then once they're gone, and you can't really farm for them. Like, my NA account has every character on it at their max level or higher, right? I cannot naturally get the Pure Prisms anymore. So I have to grind for a mat if I want to level up a character. Now, I'm in the very privileged position of, again, having every character maxed out. Or at least at max level. They're not all, like, level 10, 10, 10 and full, like, skills or anything like that. That'd be ridiculous. But it's just like, it's kind of ridiculous that it's like that. It should just be, if you're grinding this node, you're guaranteed to get 1 of a mat. And one of the ways that they're trying to alleviate that is with advanced quests, which will give you the higher rate up CEs, but even then, you have to clear the advanced quests, and some of those you're not going to fucking clear unless you have a maxed out account and the best characters. Like, go fight that Kuholin fight right now. Do it! Go fight the BB fights. Go do those. Go get your little piddly thing to get a slightly higher percentage to get that drop. It's not going to happen. That shit is ass. It sucks, man. It fucking sucks. So yeah. Is there any gacha without grind? Nikke! Nikke is so good. Nikke is so good for that. You can't farm Nikke. You go and you do your dailies and that's it, and you get a fuck ton of materials. It's fantastic. Go play Nikke. Nikke, goddammit, sponsor me. I will shill your game until the end of time. Anyway, I'm getting too passionate about this. This is maybe the thing about FGO I dislike the most, because you don't need to spend money. It's expensive. That's, it's just how it is. What was my other bad one? I don't even remember. Outdated? I mean, it's just the way of the beast. I've played with it for so long that, like, I'm just kind of used to it. Grindy? It's been like this since day one, and it fucking sucks. That's my opinion on Arknights. Fun game. I liked what I've played of it. It's pretty cool. Also great character designs in it. Plume, best girl. Also Scotty, love her to death. A good 10% of the vid is now Nikke propaganda. I mean, tried like 2%, but yeah. Anyway, let's move on to a good point. What is my good point number 4, fellas? Not enough challenging content? That does get alleviated in the future as time goes on. Nikke is an action RPG, kind of. Grind is not the problem. The drop rate and not able to combine materials is the problem for me. I would say that all factors into the grind, though. Like, if the drop rate is bad, then you have to continue to grind. They should have a way to, like, if you get, I don't know, a golden statue or a golden, like, gem, to break that down into, like, smaller gems, or you can put smaller gems together into bigger gems. You would think that that would be in the game, given, you know, we're fucking mages, but I guess not. Music, diversity, music. Alright, well, I said... I'll be honest, I don't remember what I said. Oh yeah, ease of access. We kind of talked about this with the gameplay, but FGO is arguably one of the easier gacha games to get into because you don't need the expensive characters. They make it easier, but you don't need them. FGO is, as of right now, from my memory, the only gacha game where you can have a character like Eric Bloodaxe be maxed out as high as he can go and fight on par with the high tier characters, and he's not as good, but that's using him as an example. Let's think of another character who's of a lower rarity who absolutely hits above his weight class if you give him all of the material to make him the god that he truly is. Kojiro, Regindal. If you take a character like Sasaki Kojiro and grail him up to 120, and when Grand Assassin comes around, make him the Grand Assassin, he's going to be ridiculously powerful. I can't think of another gacha game that lets you do that and have them maintain being good. FGO also is constantly updating its lower rarity character skill sets, that way they aren't necessarily left in the dust. Now, using Eric here is a bad example, because they haven't really buffed him in, I don't know, 7 years, but that's just him. Other characters get love all the time. They've recently buffed a character like, well, recently. Some years ago, they buffed a character like Matahari, whose kit was laughably bad. Now she's a kind of niche, but pretty good, like, pseudo-support. Yeah, Ushiwaka is fantastic, and she's a 3-star. Ku is also amazing. He's incredible. Fucking George. George is an insane unit, and you get him for free. And all that he does is stand there. And he's fantastic. He's amazing. G-Man does need more help, but the buff that they gave him a niche. He can now actually be unironically used in higher tier content and work. Like, there is so many characters that are low rarity that you get for free that are incredibly powerful and usable. And I'm really trying to think about other gacha games that are like, the only one that comes to mind that you can do that with, and it's a recent one on NA, is Uma Musume, and that's just because rarity just denotes, like, popular characters. That's it. That's all that does. Like, you can win the fucking the Ura finale with like Gold Ship or fucking Ryan or any of those like low 1-star characters. You can do it, but that's like, you know, Arknights also does that. It does, but the kits don't. I feel like if I'm remembering right from when I played, which mind you was a while ago, so if I'm wrong, just tell me I'm wrong. The kits of the lower rarity characters definitely feel like low rarity character kits across the board, in comparison to their higher tier counterparts. Quick needs a sustained support like Merlin and Lady Avalon for Buster and Arts respectively. Buster targets with overcharge or NP damage. Arts targets... Oh, I see. Yeah, I will always have a huge amount of respect that they've made it that you can play any character in the game well. Like, you can make every Fate character work. It's going to be harder for some, but you can still make them work. Which is nice. Like, again, I like Eric. I really do. I think he's fun. I wish that they would use him more, but they just kind of don't. There's nothing for it. So if they're not going to give him that love, I'm going to. The quick low star support is Zhangju, but he's also like an art support. Yeah, you can use Angry Mango, and he's shit, but he works. You can make him work. He is a character that you can make work. Like, if you name even one, like, somebody brought it up even before, the guy who uses, like, he uses Phantom to clear hard bosses. Like, it can be done. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, here's the thing with them. They're arguably one of the worst characters in the entire game. Easily, because they don't have a noble phantasm. But after they gave him the buff where you can just turn one, if you have his append maxed out, you can get him to his berserker form immediately and just use him as a pretty solid beat stick. It's not the best thing to do, but you can make him work in a team comp. Like, it's cool to see them, like, being like, oh, this character sucks, we need to change them a little bit. Which means that this coming anniversary, they're absolutely going to buff Eric, and they're going to make him a god-tier servant. Please, I swear to God, I need this. Please, yeah, I need this. Anyway. Jekyll is peak, I'm tired of baseless slander. It is not baseless. Jekyll was dog shit for the longest time, and then they buffed him, and he's still kind of bad, but you can make him work better. All that they need to do, the only NP they need to do for Jekyll when he becomes Hyde is just get just an attack up, just a buster and attack up or a crit up. That's it. Not even something big. Eric Copium, that's new. Oh yeah, it's never happened on this channel before. Anyway, let's move on to the bad. What is the next point that I think is bad for FGO? Yeah, a buff to his guts would be perfect. Coins. This is the coin system now, surely. If Eric gets a battery buff before Artoria Lancer Altar, I will find you. So you're an Eric main? This is my screenshot. This is on my JP account. This is my Eric. This is my Eric. Cap, go to my Twitter right now. That's at Sventarian. Go to my Twitter. I love him to death. Alright. My next bad point for FGO. I don't even know if I need to say anything. Now, if I'm recalling correctly, let me just make sure I'm not like spreading this information really quick. Nope, I'm right. Sony. This company is, in terms of...
Sensei, I don't get it.
I'm just going to say this right now. I'm going to send someone to silence you. Delightworks was a way better name. True. You can definitely tell when certain decisions are being not made by the development team and are being made by shareholders. And Sony, as a company, are pretty notorious for making very, very, very bad decisions in terms of consumer friendliness and what an actual games community wants, right? Like, let's just take a look at some of Sony's track record outside of Fate, shall we? Sony has been on record saying we don't have any IPs that we can work with. And correct me if I'm wrong, was Astrobot Game of the Year or Game of the Year nominated? Which was a love letter to the various IPs that exist in Sony. Game of the Year, yeah, no, fantastic game. It's a Mario Galaxy-esque game, fantastic. Bloodborne, yeah, no, the FromSoft had to go and make a game with fucking Nintendo because Sony will not give them Bloodborne. The reason why you will never see Bloodborne on PC is because Sony refuses to give it back to fucking FromSoft. I bet you, I would hazard a guess, at some point, a representative from FromSoft went up to Sony and said, we will pay to have Bloodborne as our IP back, and Sony said no. Sony hates fun. They despise fun. They only care about money. Now, naturally, if you're a company, you're going to care about money, right? It's what you're going to care about at the end of the day, right? However, the way that Sony goes about that and how, apparently out of date their ideals and ideas are is beyond what, the average company thinks. And it's because it's an old Japanese company, and believe me, as somebody who works and lives in Japan, you're not going to change their minds for shit. And it's so funny because people like to rag on Nintendo for being greedy and shit. And you know what? Nintendo says the quiet part out loud. You don't actually own your video games. What do you mean I own my video games? I paid for it. Did you know? Fun fact. You don't own any of your Steam games. You don't own any of those. Those belong to the companies, and you bought the license to play the game. At any point in time, Steam can take those games away from you. It's in your user license agreement when you signed up for Steam. The difference is that Nintendo came out and they said you don't actually own your games. That's not to say that, them doing the whole, getting rid of physical and shit like that is a good thing. I think that's really scummy and shit. However, people are really pissed about, what do you mean I don't own my games? Like, brother, you don't own your Steam library. You're permitted to use it. But Sony, in particular, is really bad about that. Who couldn't forget last year, with the 9th anniversary, when they made Kano-san, Tucson, go up on stage looking like the man was about to cry because he functionally had a gun put into his back, saying, go tell them that they have to roll even more copies because of the coin system, because we're not going to change it. Y'all want me to talk about the coin system? That's not on this list directly. I'm tying that shit directly to Sony. Because I'll be real with you, I think that, the coin system, the idea behind it isn't bad. There just needs to be a way to get them, again, right? There just needs to be a different way to be able to get them. The thing is that there's not, and Sony very clearly was just like, we're not doing that. Make them spend more money because they will. Now, in Japan, sure. Maybe some Japanese fans will do that, except for the fact that they didn't want to. Because of point A, this game is fucking expensive. This game costs a shit ton of money to play if you want to get the best of the best. So when you make a decision like that, to be like, yeah, no, you have to spend even more money for another copy, which, by the way, pity only counts for the first copy up until last year. Which is, it's shit. It's shit, it's scummy, it's absolute horrendous nonsense. So when they make Kano-san, who is, by all accounts, from any time I've ever seen him on a live stream, really, really passionate about the game that he's making. He really likes the game. He loves the game. Every time, he's hyping up these characters, even though he knows that some of them are going to be dog shit. He knows they're going to be. But he's just like, nah, dude, this shit's cool. You're going to like it. I think it's so much fun that I get to do this. And they put him up on stage, and the dude looks like he's about to start He looks like he's about to have a mental breakdown. Yeah, if they want money, yeah, more costumes in Live 2D. We will spend $25 to buy some of the anniversary CEs as playable costumes. If you want money, do that! Do that! It's easy! It's so easy! But yeah, I completely and utterly blame Sony for a lot of the problems. Like, for why a lot of the stuff over here, maybe not grindy, but like outdated, I think that's a Sony thing. They're not willing to do it. Expensive? They're not going to fucking change the amount that the shit costs. They already know that people are going to buy it. Why would you? You're making money. Why would you change that? So I directly blame the shareholders and a lot of the decision making made by Sony for a lot of the issues with how the game is held right now. So, you know, I'm missing something. How is Sony related to FGO? Sony owns Lasengel, which is the company that makes FGO. So, if Sony says to the people making FGO, you need to change this, they have to change it. If they say, you're going to add in this system, they have to add in that system. Sony's the parent company, and Lasengel's a branch. Sorry, I maybe should have made that more clear from the start. But yeah, that's how that all connects. Sony owns Lasengel. I don't think Sony owns Type Moon. I don't believe so. I think Type Moon's its own entity, but Sony owns Lasengel. What we'll buy, no, I wouldn't. I'd never #boycott rolls for the next SSR NP5+. Yeah, anyway. As you can tell, I'm kind of passionate about this one because this one pisses me off. The fact that a company has the ability to obstruct what would otherwise probably be really, really good decisions and make them more money because some old fucks in goddamn suits want to be like, no, make them spend more. But, you know. Anyway. Let's move away from the bad. What is my number 5? My number 5 good. What is my last point about this game that I think is really good? And here's your hint. It's what I think is really good. So if you know me as a content creator, as a streamer, or as a person, you can probably figure out what I would think is really good about FGO. Think positively, those old guys are at Hassan's door. I mean, that's the thing, though, is like... I don't know. It's a dead horse to say that Sony is out of touch. But, like, the 9th anniversary debacle mixed with their recent shit with, like, just, again, the Astrobot thing. I'm not even going to touch on Concord. Concord is a whole other, like, can of worms that I think is beyond Sony. That was, like, being developed by some motherfucker who had no idea what he was doing. Like, people want to say, oh, it was because it was woke. It's like, it wasn't because it was woke. It was because you're releasing a hero shooter in an oversaturated market that looks like dog shit. And with, like, really bad marketing, and Sony very clearly did not, like, they put all their eggs in this basket, and people hate Sony, so people are actively going to be like, yo, fuck you, we're not playing this. We'll keep playing Overwatch. Anyway, the next thing that I really like about FGO is... lore's a close one. It's history. As people may know, I taught history for a while. I'm currently teaching English. But yeah, no, history. History is fantastic. I love history. I love being introduced to new history. Being able to look back on how the world was and how people lived and how they adapted and changed things is fascinating. I love it. It's so much fun. There is such an enormous amount of, like, you get to see how people have always been the same across time, which is so much... It's so cool. It's so cool to see that. But also you get to, like, learn about these quirky little characters and the little, like, nooks and crannies of history that you normally wouldn't get to see. Like, okay, here's one. I'm going to spoil a fun fact that's coming out later on for my shorts series. Fun fact, You guys know not Atlante, Attila the Santa, Altera Santa. You know how she has a sheep named Zerko? Zerko is the name of a Moorish dwarf jester that served in the court of Attila the Hun's predecessor, Bleda, who was captured, and he liked the dwarf so much that he made the dwarf armor, and the dwarf ran away. He caught the prisoners who ran away with the dwarf, let all the prisoners go, and brought the dwarf in front of him and said, "Why'd you run away?" And he was just like, "I wanted a wife." And like, okay, bring out a noble's wife and give it to this dwarf. And then he lived out the rest of his life there pretty happily until Bleda died, and then Attila came over, and Attila fucking hated him, and so said, "Go back to Constantinople." And the dwarf's just like, "All right." And then they brought his ass back. He came back. Like, I would have never known that there was a dwarf that served Attila the Hun as a jester unless if FGO didn't exist. And that's so funny. It's so interesting to know that. Or characters just like, I've seen the symbol of the Bishone. I would have never learned the lore of the Bishone, which is cool. It's fun. Characters like Lohi, I have a tentative knowledge of who Lohi was before FGO, but then going through and reading through all of her shit was super, super interesting. Like, Fate actually giving you the little taster of how these characters are, and then making you interested in them so that you then go and learn more about them is so cool. I love that they let you do that. And right now, like, just keeping on talking about, like, other gachas that kind of do something similar, Uma Musume is kind of going through that boom right now, too, where people are, like, going and, like, learning about the history of the actual horses that are in Uma Musume. Now, imagine that, but on the actual historical scale of humanity across all of time, and it's exactly like that. It's so cool. It's so interesting to learn that. And that's not to say that, you know, Fate has, like, is 100% accurate all the time. Abso-fucking-lutely not. Fate embellishes so much stuff. So much stuff in how it tells its stories. But being able to have something that, like, gives you, like, a taste of, like, hey, here's this story. Is this story any true? I don't know. Let's go look it up. Like, there was the summer event where they talked about Anastasia. Apparently Anastasia really liked photographs, and there's a picture of her out there with her teeth sticking out that looks really goofy. And I was like, is that real? And then I looked it up, and it's real. There's a real picture of Anastasia with sticking out her teeth and looking like a goddamn monster. It's just out in it. It's just out there. I would have never have known that. The amount of research that they do on, like, the development team to find the characters that they're going to be talking about and then doing them is so cool. Like, I really, really enjoy that there's a game that lets you explore that. Like, I mean, I got the history autism, if you will. Like, it's something I've always loved. Mythology and, like, folklore. Folklore in particular is, like, my favorite thing. So learning all about that stuff and having it be a pretty consistent, like, new introduction to new characters all the time. And Fate is guilty of, like, focusing on certain regions. Like, for the love of God, I don't care that, okay, here's the thing, I don't care that they have a lot of people who are in Japan in the roster, because it's a Japanese company. I expect that, right? But for the love of Christ, there are more countries than Rome, Greece, India, and Egypt. Please, there's so many cool figures in history that could be in Fate that you're just, like, not picking up on. For the love of God, there's a whole continent. We have all of Africa. For the love of Christ, we have all of Africa, and so many cool figures there. Can we please get the Anansi spider? I would kill to get the Anansi spider in Fate. I want to see what you do with that. Please. Like, there's so many, like, fun characters in folklore in Africa. Like, it's so much, and they just ignore it. Mansa Musa, yeah, New Zealand servants. Can we get, what's his name? God damn it. Not Captain Cook, the outlaw. My brain is fried right now because I've been talking for 2.5 hours straight. The motherfucker who was a, God. The hell was his name? What the hell was his name? The bandit bastard. And Ned Kelly. Please, not Ned Kelly? Alright. And Mexico's not South America? Yeah, they really do just trying to brush that one under the rug. I can't remember his name, but somebody can remind me. The dude who had no hands and he like stapled swords to them in South America. Can we get that guy? That guy was cool. That guy has a fucking super interesting history. El Cid would be cool. Fucking Simon Bolivar would be cool. There's so many characters all across like history that could be added to this game, and even with characters that I knew about, they always find new and interesting stories to like tell about them that are real. Like, I've known Anastasia for a long time. I didn't know that she had a fascination with pictures. That's cool. That's awesome. Like, they put so much passion and love into the research they do and how they create them, and it's so easy. I intentionally chose Da Vinci and Da Vinci here for this because it's so easy to just be like, oh, they just like to pick a character and gender bend them and then that's that. It's like, no. They put a lot of thought into how they designed the Da Vinci character. Okay, it's the Mona Lisa because that was like, we have a very little like information like the actual Mona Lisa itself. And so model it after it is a symbol of beauty. The staff is a reference to things that he made. The automaton bird, he made real robots and stuff like that. The mechanical arm has a basis in history. Like, there's so much fun stuff like that that they put into the designs that it's like, oh, I get that reference. I love it. It's fantastic. I mean, like, the joke is like, I sit down history major, a Fate fan is talking type shit. Like, it's a thing, but I love it. They butchered Neza. They made Wukong's rival a fraud. Yeah, I'm not going to say that they handle every character perfectly. I mean, there's 400 plus of them, so they're going to have to... Some of them are going to be not so great, right? But I will say that by and large, like, even like the what-if scenarios that they do, I love the idea that they did with Qin Shi Huang, making him a perfect human in a massive, like mechanical monstrosity. Like, I think that's fun. I think it's cool. I don't know. I love it so much. I love the history so much. It's so fascinating. Anyway, on to our last bad point. What is the final bad point, fellas? Van Gogh that is funny, Clyde and Lovecraft and Sunflower. I look, Van Gogh is one of those ones that, like, at first you're like, this is stupid, and then you actually figure out why it is the way it is, and you're like, this is genius. Like, okay, let's pause. I want to talk about Van Gogh really quick from the historical perspective and how they adapted her, because there is shit to go in with that. That made me respect Van Gogh so much as, like, from a character writing perspective. If you just see Van Gogh as is, and you're like, oh, this is a character that they just wanted to gender bend for waifu points, but then also make her a child servant for some reason to make people feel like they're creeps, I guess? Like, okay. Van Gogh, the artist Van Gogh, is of course associated with sunflowers, right? One of his most famous paintings is the vase of sunflowers, right? The water nymph that he is fused with is Clytie, turned into a bunch of heliotropes, which is, I'm trying to remember, I think that's the term for it, which aren't explicitly said to be sunflowers, but sunflowers are heliotropes, which are flowers that follow the sun. And then to make them a foreigner, they directly tied it to a plant-based god on Mars, who, in theory, would be following light as well, tying that to the character. So all three of those characters tie into each other into a way that makes sense. And being able to make those connections and have it work is so cool. It's not, I'm not saying it's not ridiculous, because it is, but it's so cool to see that. Big fan. Also, yeah, Go is adorable, and I love her to death. Anyway, let's move on to the bad. The last bad is... the community. It's you. It's you, chat. It's you and all of you. Now, let me explain that. When I say the community, what I mean is a very, very, very vocal minority of people. It's not the community as the whole. The vast majority of people who play Fate just have fun with it. If you join just about any Fate server, like any Fate Discord server, and you're just talking about the characters and like the characters that you like, hey, how are you running the 90++? Or like, oh, I'm thinking about doing this, or oh, I want to save up for this character. Oh, this character's design is really fun. Man, I'm not a big fan of how they handle this. The vast majority of the time, what you're going to get are people who are really nice. Like, the vast majority of experiences you're going to have with people are nice, right? But there are very loud, very incredibly annoying people in this community. And the reason for that is not because of the FGO community, necessarily. It's the Fate or Type Moon community as a whole. The hell is the power scaling community? Don't worry about them. They're miserable. They're sad. If you've built your entire life around gauging how hard a fictional character can punch another fictional character, you have nothing. Also, Fion, thank you for the gifted sub. If you got it, please be sure to say thank you. Yeah, it's... I can think of a couple of people just online in general when I think about it. Okay, so let's point out the people in the community that I'm talking about without naming any names. Let's break it down, shall we? Let's start with... I mean, again, I'm going to preface this. Let me preface this. The vast majority of people are fine. The vast majority of people just enjoy themselves, and they just enjoy the thing that they like, and they're happy about it. And sure, maybe they get irked a little bit with like some aspects of how things are being handled or not. That's fine. And I'm just gonna say this up front. This is not at any like YouTuber. Every single Fate tuber I've ever had any interaction with directly, they've all been incredible. They've all been super sweet. Literally every single one of them I've talked to has been awesome. So this is not them. Unless I'm missing something incredibly hard, every Fate tuber I've talked to directly has been awesome. So you can trust us. Trust me. Let me break this into categories. Let's start with the number one. The number one most egregious member of the Type Moon community is the old. It's the person who says, you need to read the visual novel. If you are actively telling people right now that they need to read the visual novel, otherwise they're not a real Fate fan, that person's a bad person. If you truly believe that, you are a bad person. Have I talked with an Otaku Daikon? Not directly, but the interactions I've had with him have been fine. Like, okay, let me give you the list of the Fate tubers who I've talked to directly. Kadaroth, Mist, Plushie, Otto, Rio Emerald, Pran, Gorgeous P. I'm trying to think if there's any others off the top of my head. Those are the ones I've had the most interactions with, and all of those guys, awesome, fantastic people. I have nothing but good things to say about them. I've not talked with Fino. I would like to though, because Fino seems cool. If only you had a show with Plushie and Otto. I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m., man. I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. to do that. Like every week or so. That's a quite literal time diff. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, the old head Fate fans are you know who I'm talking about. It's the people who will look down their nose at you as if you are a lesser than because you have not read the visual novel. And then even if you have read the visual novel, they don't care because they read it before you. I've read the visual novel. I don't really care for the story of Stay Night that much personally. I can see the appeal, but it's just not my kind of story. I just don't like it particularly, and I didn't care for the main character. Female leads are good, primarily, but you know. Yeah, gatekeeping. That's actually a perfect way to encapsulate that. But it's not just gatekeeping. It's just like the hyper elitists in the Fate community are incredibly annoying, and they're very, very loud. Which I again can't stress enough. Vocal minority. This is not most people, but they're very loud about it. Like, I don't know. I've read the visual novel because I was yelled at because I hadn't, and it was just okay. I would give it a solid 5 out of 10. I still prefer Fate Zero, the anime. I'm a soccer fan, but it's because I have similar past to her. I mean, no, trust me. That is what's kind of fun about it. Is just, you know, there's so many characters in Fate you can relate to some of them. Yeah, there's that. I mean, I don't want to put, like, Tsukihime fans in that category as well, because that's a whole other, like, genre, but they also tend to be the same people. The visual novel head, like, hyper-elitist about things, and they just want to gatekeep everything. Those people, as somebody who's now been in the Fate community for 7 years plus, I am going to just give myself the authority to say, you can actively ignore anybody who's telling you that you need to read the visual novel. It'll help. You may enjoy it, but you don't need to do it. What's next? People who only care about the meta. Like, exclusively meta people. And you know who those people also tend to be? It's the same group of people. Meta heads and doomsayers. Those are always the same people. It's the people who only care about, can they 3-turn? Or can I use them to 3-turn in multi-core? And if not, the servant is terrible. I hate them. Also, when are we going to go EOS? EOS when? When EOS? When are we going to get into the EOS? Hey, Fate EOS when? God, can we please get to EOS already? God, when is the EOS of Fate going to happen? There seems to be like a Venn diagram of those two people, and it's a circle. Like, this isn't to say that you can't metagame things, but if you're going to just, like, make it everyone else's problem that you're mad the game is still going or that a character is not able to 3-turn, then you are soulless. I don't know what to tell you. And then honestly, the third faction of people in the community I'm going to say that you need to, like, I would say is, like, really bad are just, I saw the word in the chat and I'm just going to pop into it. It's, yeah, gooners. Overly horny people. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not, like, horny over some of the characters. Sure, it's a part of the game. It's a fucking waifu collectathon. Waifu husbando collectathon. It's a thing. Some of y'all need to fucking chill out and pump the brakes. Like, it's okay to like these characters, but, like, some of y'all are... I'm not horny? You are a liar and a thief! To be fair to the EOS guys, it's been more than a decade and we're still missing a bunch of stuff, like Arcuit's sister doesn't have an official design. Sure. I guess that my issue with it is I feel like a lot of the people who are chanting for the end of service immediately think that what's going to happen is that if Fate Grand Order ends, then they're going to immediately put all of their passion into the product that they want them to do, which for every person in that circle is something different. We're gonna get Red Garden, guys. No. They're gonna finish up. They're gonna go finish up the Tsukihime, the other Tsukihime thing. No, they're gonna go do the other Mahoyo thing. No, they're gonna do this instead. It's just like, no. And then once that happens, you're gonna be pissed that they're not working on the thing that you want them to be working on. It's an endless cycle of how they want this to be done. It's just like, I don't know what to tell you guys, but, like, they're working on the project that they want to be working on. Like, if they want to work on Fate, I'm sorry that they don't want to work on the thing that you want them to. But take this from, like, a person... Okay, I think I've had this before. I've had this talk before on the stream, but there's more people here. If you're a creative person who likes to, I don't know, write, draw, design things, I want to ask you a question. How many ongoing work and projects do you have right now? How many unfinished projects do you have right now? You may even have like an open tab on your computer right now for that story that you're writing. You may have like the fanfic that you're writing, but you moved on to another one because you were inspired by something else. How about the piece that you were drawing earlier and that you were like, hey, I kind of want to finish this. Oh, but I had a really good idea to draw this instead. How often has that happened to you if you're a creative? The answer is all the goddamn time. Like, it's part of the reason why somebody like Hayao Miyazaki is always coming back to make more shit for Ghibli after being like, I'm done. It's like, actually, hold on, I had an idea. Procrastinating a digital marketing course as we speak. Exactly. Ask any Warhammer person about their pile of shame. I don't need to ask them about it because I have the Gunpla fucking the pile of shame. All of my backlog of shit I want to be building. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you about yours, just don't ask me about mine. Like, we all do that. We're all just like, man, I want to build this, but oh, I want to make this instead right now. I want to move on to this. I feel like FGO was kind of the thing for Nasu with that. Nasu and Takeuchi. They're just like, I have this idea. Man, I really have this idea for this one now too. Oh, but there's also this. And they're constantly adding new concepts to FGO that they've not done before. It's a constantly growing thing in how they're adapting it. So it's really fun like that. So, I don't know. Like, I can kind of understand where people are, like, they want FGO to end because they think it will lead to the creation of something else. But, I don't know. It's difficult. You're making a gamble by doing that. It's either you could get something new and it be a part of FGO, or you could get something, you could just get nothing. I don't know. It's hard. And that's the other thing, is I think a lot of people do want it to enter end of service just because they want it to. They want to feel like they're free so they can no longer have to spend their money on something. Problem is that if that's how you're thinking, you're just gonna go, you're gonna go relapse into something else. I don't know how to tell you this. It starts with you. It's not the game's fault. It starts with you. Anyway, is there anything else about the FGO community or the Fate community as a whole, or Type Moon community as a whole that's really annoying? The only other thing I can think of is people who are overly obsessive with certain characters. For its wanting FGO to change the gameplay to something like arcade, but I know it's not going to happen. I understand where you're coming from. What I would prefer that they do for that instead is just release a separate thing on FGO, or like a separate like game, like FGO Arcade but on mobile. I hoped FGO would explore the true magics of time travel to Zelrich versus the moon. Good news, they do that a little bit in the future. I don't know. Like, I'll say this. I was gonna break this down for the three Stay Night fan. The three Stay Night main girl fans. I'm not gonna include Taiga, Medusa, or Ilya on this because they don't count, unfortunately. I've noticed a trend with them. Rin fans are way too horny. Y'all need to calm the fuck down. Saber fans are way too annoying. She's not as good as you think she is. You need to get over yourself. You are not Shiro, and you never will be Shiro. I'm sorry that you're never gonna be... I'm sorry that you I'm not gonna get into the insults for that, but like, I'm sorry that you're not gonna be Shiro. It's not gonna happen. You will never live up to that ideal because you are too shoved up your own ass. And then Sakura fans, I just feel bad for you. I just feel bad. Not even the game will give that poor girl a break. They made her really generic, and then they also just made her life miserable. I'm sorry for y'all. I'm glad that you like her, though. At the end of the day, I hope that you like the characters that you like. I don't want to be Shiro, I have self-respect. They my New Year's resolution to ease up on the Sakura jokes. Yeah, fair enough. I don't know. And I don't know. We gotta fire the Saber fan in Type Moon. We got an Artoria for every class. Love Lost Bell 6 though. Lost Bell 6 is great. She is me for real breathing Copio. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy the Fate, and again, like the majority of the community that I've interacted with has been great. But like, goddamn, if you ever, okay, you know what? Here's my advice. Here's my genuine advice for Fate. If you want to get into Fate, if you're somehow this is the first time you're seeing Fate, if you want to get into Fate and you want to avoid the people I've just talked about, do not Twitter and do not Reddit. Do not social media outside of like a Discord server and YouTube for Fate. Those places? No. Bad, don't go there. And if you're gonna do that, limit it to art. The moment you see people in the Fate community picking fights with people in the Honkai Star Rail community, block them. Block both sides. It's just toxic. It's toxic all the way around. The moment you see somebody on either of these places start talking about how people need to get over themselves and Fate Grand Order sucks, block those people too. Did he just die? No, I'm here. And White Reaper, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Hope you enjoy your stay. HSR has Saber, though, which is a bonus for them. Look, Saber's design in Fate, Jesus, in Honkai Star Rail, I really like it. It's fun. And yet, when I was on Twitter, there's some motherfucker saying, she shouldn't, her skirt is bad, I don't like it. I'm like, brother, fucking, I just, I don't know. All of this can be summed up into saying that Fate Grand Order is a really, really fun game, and the community is really, really fun. We don't have a little bitch in your ear telling you how bad it is. Anyway. Oh, Seder, the bootleg Chinese figure? I did see that was funny. But I don't like Reddit? Good. I wanted to make a comic about every interaction on Reddit when you're searching for something, which maybe I'll make that at some point, but I have other projects I'm going to do and ignore it, like Nasu ignores Red Garden. Anyway, final thoughts. Overall, I'm trying to think to myself, would I recommend Fate Grand Order to somebody in the year 2025? It's hard. It's hard. I definitely think I would have to know the person. I don't think I would openly recommend it because of all the problems that are with it. But if I know the person well enough, I definitely would be like, yeah, dude, check it out. It's pretty fun. If you can get past like the opening, like if you can get past Orleans and Septum, everything after that is fine. Or any game, or just gachas. I don't know. It's I find it hard to recommend to like my friends about it, like to be like, yeah, play Fate Grand Order, but you know. I think that if you are interested, you should give it a try. Just give it a shot. It's lasted for 10 years because it's good enough for it. People have enjoyed this game for 10 years, so maybe you can enjoy it as well. And plus, you can join in at any time. You'll still get the experience. It's great. So, how about you, fellas? What do you think? Question is, where do they go after the last part, which we are currently prepping for the Grands? Okay, you know what I think that they do? Genuinely, if you want to know what I think, the best thing that they could do with Fate Grand Order after this current chapter is that we go to the Mages Association. And then we start doing shit case file style. Boom. Done. Great. We lose some of our power by having done that, and then we go and we work for the Mages Association. We work it from there. Perfect. We solve anomalies happening in the real world in Fate Grand Order for a while until they come up with whatever they're going to do next. I personally think that'd be a fun idea, but that's just me. The association thinks we're heretics or something? Kind of. It's difficult to say. Once we clear up whatever's going to be happening at the end of part 2, it's hard to say how the Mages Association will feel about us, but they may just bring us on to be like, we need to keep an eye on you. Like, we can't have these people doing, like, all of this. It's like One Piece when then FGO story is like the start slow, then ramps up. Yeah, like I said it earlier, but like FGO's opening chapter is fantastic. I keep on saying Shinjuku. Fuyuki is fantastic. It's a great opening for the series. Orleans slows things down, but it works for world building. Septum is just kind of really slow and drags its feet. Okeanos is fantastic. You get build up with London that is okay, but I hate the London chapter because it's it definitely feels like an in-between chapter, but then after that, it's great. Plot twist, we unlock the 6 magic true summoning, we can access the throne and the roots and summon as a true magic. That would be awesome. Destroy Ray Shift, the main power of Chaldea. Like, I'm very excited to see where we go from here. I don't really know, necessarily, what they could do. I have some ideas, but, you know. I don't know if the Mages Association can try us. If they're going to try anybody, it'd be Olga. They would arrest Olga and be like, what did you do? Space is a safe bet. I think that, yeah, a foreigner invasion isn't necessarily too, like, outside of the realm of possibility either. Servant verse is a new gamble. I love the Servant verse. It hurts my brain. But yeah, I think that that's a good... Is there any final thoughts from any of you? Is there anything that you disagree with, agree with, off the top of your heads? Be kind of curious to know. Is there anything in Fate that you think is a very redeeming quality, or if anything in Fate that you think is a very damning quality? I don't know JP's story, so I don't know if there is more context, but between Tamamo and Heian Kyo and the one that intervened for Koyan, the Tamamo 9 and Amaterasu could be a new story. They could definitely explore that concept, and I feel like they will eventually. Also, Tamamo is a peak character design, and I would love to see more of her show up. I want to play some of the things, but they are... I see. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's good. I think it's a good place to stop with this. I could rant on forever. I have more to say about the community in general, but I mean, that one's kind of a tacked on thing. I'm going to be completely transparent with all of you. I had a much easier time thinking about the things I enjoy about this game than the things I don't enjoy. Like, you'll notice, like, community, Sony, and, like, I don't know. Expensive is definitely one that's, like, hard to avoid. This game costs way too much damn money. Outdated, it's because they slow roll shit out, which I kind of blame on Sony to a degree. Grindy is just, I mean, that's subjective to a degree. And the community, it's all about how you personally engage with it. Like, it's hard to come up with, but, like, I have so much more things about this game that I really enjoy. I just find it really, really good. Main reason I play is for the glutes of the male and female characters. That's the real shit. And that is why Summer Ibuki is one of the best characters in the entire game, hands down. It's happy to be playing the game, interacting with other people that enjoy the game. Perfect. I think that's I think that is a perfect way to close this out. And that is a... Honestly, I'm just going to steal that from you right now. Yeah, just play the game. Again, if you're really interested in this game, join a Discord. You can join my Discord. It'll be linked below for this on YouTube, but you don't have to join mine. You can join, like, somebody like Mist. You can join Plushie. You can join Fino. You can join Autos. Like all of those, you can join Kataroth. Kataroth has it with a couple of other people too. He also has To Love Trouble also, who's also pretty fun. That's a good Twitter follow if you want Benny Enma art. Yeah, no, just interact with the community in a way that like would be really fun. Just, you know, if you're an artist, this is a perfect game if you're an artist, because there's so many character designs that you can play with. You're bound to find one that you love. There are many FGO tubers on Twitch streaming gameplay and voicing characters. Exactly. Have fun with it. This game is built on fun. I love this game so much. And while I may have trouble recommending it to people, I think that you should maybe give it a try, just a little bit, and see if it sticks with you. If not, Nikke, please sponsor me. I love your game. Please, I will shill your game till the end of time. I swear to God. Please, Nikke, give me money to shill your game. Anyway, fellas, I recommend the VTuber Acrylux, who has a magical voice if you don't want to see story. There you go. Perfect. Fellas, we're going to call it there. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you're over on YouTube, hey YouTube, check out the links down below for all of the various things. Come check us out on twitch.tv/KlidgeRadio, where you can tell me I'm wrong about my opinions. For now, though, fellas, I'll catch y'all later. Peace out. Good night. Bye-bye.